Hi, this is Emily Ainelli of Tigar Angel, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what happened on the 13th of November 2015. Um, I've been tuned in to the news of late, and I usually find myself getting caught up. Sometimes it happens when a news event shakes you up. And what happened in Paris is very disturbing. I am very shaken up. I've been to Paris, France, and I have had incredible experiences there. And I feel that it truly is very sad and tragic that such an event occurred, because it's not right, it's not fair. People just going about their lives, just doing what they normally would, never expecting anything like that. Um, we've seen it before. Obviously, I'm from the United States. I live in New York, so I know about tragedies um, of significance, such as September 11th. But what happened in Paris truly is tragic and is not acceptable. And I don't know what it's going to take to make the world a better place. If only it was so simple. One of my most favorite artists, who also died tragically, John Lennon, had a song called Imagine, and the premise of his song was to imagine a place of peace and happiness and joy. I don't know if we'll ever find that place, not with the likes of what we see. We have to live in a world that exists with violence and hatred and terrorism, innocent people losing their lives. Why? It doesn't make sense. Why can't people just find a way to understand that we all deserve our life to live, and there should never be an attack like this? I pray for the people in Paris. I pray for healing. I'm very sad and despondent about this, and I don't like what I see in the news, and I'm very sad that this had to happen. I don't like it, and I don't want this to happen. So many innocent people. It just doesn't make sense, you know? Why are there terrorists in the world? Why does hatred and killings have to be a topic of preaching in extremists' religions? I'll never understand how you can preach hatred and violence and killings in your religion. It makes no sense. It's a contradiction of terms. There is no sense to preaching that, to preaching killings, mass killings, and suicide bombings? What in the world does these people who do these things realize the pain they inflict on others? Why can't they know the hurt that they cause? Why can't they realize that what they do is insane and it doesn't make any sense? And we, as a community, as a whole, as a society, have to fight back and take and reclaim our lives, because we cannot live in a world like this. We cannot function in a society that preaches hate and violence and killings. This cannot go on. I refuse to live in a world like this. I cannot take this. And I am fed up with seeing this kind of violence. And I want the people of Paris to know that we stand for you and we are thinking of you, and you're in our prayers and our thoughts. And we are sad for what you're going through. I'm only one person, but I am very upset about this. And I wish that I could make an impression, but I'm only one person with one voice, and what I say doesn't mean much. But what I know in my heart and my mind is that this cannot go on. This is wrong. This is terrible. And life has to be held as precious. And we have to go on and fight and live our lives and not be subjected to this insanity. Life is not perfect, but life is precious. And if only we could all realize this. Why does terrorism exist? What can be done to wipe out terrorism? Even if we have to go in and kill all those terrorists, I am not vengeful and I don't believe in killing. But if it comes down to killing a terrorist, I'm all for it if it means peace, because terrorism is no good and terrorists are evil and they should not be here. They should not exist. This world cannot exist with terrorism. Terrorism is evil. Terrorism is no good. Terrorism is the worst thing imaginable. And I don't care who you are. I don't care what your religion is. There is no religion that is based on terrorism and inflicting harm and fear and killing innocent people. That is not a religion. No God preaches hatred and killing. No God under the sun preaches that. And anyone who is a killer, a terrorist, should be killed. And I mean that, because I cannot take terrorism. And I'm glad that bin Laden was killed. He should have been killed, what he did. He's no good. He was evil. And anyone who is evil should be killed and should be held accountable for their actions. No one should do this. Life is precious. Terrorism is evil and no good, and anyone who thinks otherwise is crazy. No one should be subjected to this. No one. This is evil. So many innocent people lost their lives in Paris on November 13th, 2015. For what? I have no idea. Because of some insane terrorists who are crazy and idiots and should go to hell. They should all burn in hell. That's where they should be. That's where any terrorist should be. And I am not going to stand for terrorism. I don't want to see this tragedy anymore. I don't know what it will take, but I'm all for France taking the steps they need to aim their effort in eliminating these factions of terrorists. Go and bomb those sites. Go and kill those motherfuckers. That's what they are. They're all a bunch of assholes, and they all should be killed. All terrorists are no good. They make no contribution to this world. They're evil, and they are no good, and they should be killed. And I, for one, stand behind France in their decision to fight back. We have to fight back. And I will never tolerate terrorism. I will never come to understand this. No one should be forgiven for these heinous acts, these criminal acts, these insane acts. This is like Hitler and his regime, which was a God-forsaken evil empire. And I'm glad that Hitler was killed, assassinated, whatever. And I believe in my heart that good will prevail. We must fight for our rights to live, to be able to enjoy a dinner, a concert, a sporting event, without fear of being killed for doing so. I firmly believe these terrorists should be killed, and I want to see justice prevail. Death. I said death to those fucking terrorists. May they all burn in hell. God, pray for Paris. God, pray for all who perished. God, pray for the innocent. God, pray for those who just went about their daily lives. God, pray for Paris. God, pray for all who died on November 13, 2015 as a result of those acts of terrorism. This cannot go on. We, as a society, must condemn any form of violence, any form of terrorism. We must fight back. We must reclaim our lives. We must go on. God, pray for Paris. I pray for Paris, France, and its people. You're in my thoughts and my prayers.